Hey guys, what's up? I'm Alex. Welcome to my first video. Been wanting to do this for a long time, and I thought I'd start off with my favourite game system of them all, which is Warhammer Warcry. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you what I think are the 5 best warbands for starting Warcry in 2026. Now, what do I mean by the best kind of easy to start beginner warbands? Well, I think there's a few categories that we've got to think of first. There's going to be ones that are relatively easy to understand, so the rules aren't too complex. They're not going to stretch your brain too much, especially as you're learning to use the core rules for the first time. They're accessible, so all the warbands that I'm going to mention are ones that are still currently sold by Games Workshop, so you're not going to have to go trawling through eBay or Vinted or Facebook or wherever to find these warbands. The last thing is that they're easy to paint. There's a bunch of warbands out there that they might look super cool, but if you're new to hobbying in general, they might represent quite a challenge for when you want to get started painting for the first time. So with that said, let's crack on. I do have a caveat warband to get out of the way first, and they are the Chaos Legionnaires. They are pretty tough, they hit pretty hard too, and they're quite forgiving as a warband. The thing that brings them down is that their aesthetic isn't for everyone. They might be a little bit busy in places on the models, especially with the trim. People hate painting Chaos trim, and I totally understand you. But lastly, and perhaps most tellingly, they're quite a boring warband to play. I think you'll probably have your fill if you play with them after half a dozen games. I think they're a great kind of in-house warband to have if you've got a local club or you want to introduce someone to the game, just getting them through a few cycles of the game to kind of get up to speed. But I think interest in them will probably drop off quite quickly. So to that degree, I wouldn't necessarily recommend them for a first starter warband, but they're worth a look in if you just want to get playing the game super quickly. Alright, on with the list itself, and at number 5 we've got the Gorger Mawpack. Now the Gorger Mawpack are a super fun warband for one reason and one reason alone. They are killy. You are going to be taking models off the board when you run Gorger Mawpack. There's hardly any other warbands, bespoke one-box warbands, that are as lethal as the Gorger Mawpack. And the good thing is that they've got a range of really cool abilities to help them do what they want to do best, which is kill stuff. Check out in particular their 2 doubles, Bounding Leap and Unnatural Force. That really boosts the kill capability of this warband, and it mitigates one of their biggest flaws or biggest hindrances. Not a flaw, a hindrance I would say, which is that there's only 5 of them in the box. Being 5 models, they're super easy to paint, just a ton of flesh really. The one thing you've got to watch out for them is that they cannot carry treasure apart from their leader. They do have another double which allows them to do so, but you might find that especially if you're playing narrative missions when it comes to treasure, you might be on the back foot. But to be honest, that's a small price to pay with a warband that is so fun, so easy to play, and so lethal. So a great place to start. Number 5, Gorger Mawpack. Number 4, I'm going to go for the Rotmire Creed. And the Rotmire Creed are a great force to get started with, because for a start, they look absolutely brilliant. They're super fun to paint. Not too many details, but loads and loads of atmosphere. Their dudes are decently killy, not the toughest, but they are going to put out quite a lot of damage across the course of the game, and they've got specifically a few abilities that are going to make the game really fun. They're kind of going to be your X factor. Look out for their blowpipe abilities, their hooked net, which is super useful and sees play even at the highest levels of the game, and finally the coup de grace, one of the best abilities out there for raw damage, which is lethal injection. It's a fantastic ability that their leader can use, and it can really make a mess of things when people aren't expecting it. The one thing that I would say that might hold them back is once you do lose those interest pieces, their leader and kind of their lieutenants, the step down, you are going to find that they can do a lot less on the board. There are other warbands that even when they suffer a few losses, some attrition, they can still do lots of cool things. When you lose those 1, 2, 3 key pieces, there's not much more they can do. That's kind of going to energize your games or be super interesting. But if you keep them around kind of until like the later half of the game, you're going to have a really good time. They're going to do a lot of damage. So yeah, I think the Rotmire Creed, really good bet to start off with. All right, number 3, we're in the podium places now. I'm gonna go for a contentious one now, which I didn't really know whether to have higher or lower, so I kind of given up and compromised and stuck them in the middle. But that is the Kruleboyz Monsta-Killaz. For a start, they're the only faction in the entire game that has monkeys. The monkeys are super cool, really fun, and actually quite good as well. But in terms of their abilities and the way they operate as a warband, they are really unique and a ton of fun. If you want to talk about gadgets and gizmos and cool things that a warband can do, not many have the Monsta-Killaz beat. Every single one of their miniatures can do really cool stuff to influence the course of the game. And that's why I felt they had to be in number 3. Look out for their reaction. Their reaction Cruel Trap has the possibility to freeze any enemy at basically any time in the game if they come too close to one of their miniatures, which is fantastic. They've got great damage dealing ranged options, great damage dealing close combat options. Their leader is an absolute unit. He is terrifying. They've got abilities of daze that can inconvenience their opponents, and in most cases deal a surprisingly nasty amount of damage. And like I said, they've got the monkeys, they've got speed, they've got hitting power. Their Achilles heel, if they have one, is they're a little bit squishy. They're not the toughest warband. They can take a slap, but not as much as the last 2 factions on this list. In terms of playstyle and hobbying, Monsta-Killaz have to be right up there. I would say that maybe they require a few more games to really get down and to really know well. But they are absolutely worth it and super rewarding. For number 2, I'm going to pick a warband that has really kind of come into their own recently. They weren't so popular a couple of years ago, but I think people have realised just what they've got going for them, and that is the Stormcast, the Questor Soulsworn. Now, not everyone is a big fan of Stormcast. People can think they seem pretty boring, pretty beige on the outside. Whatever your opinions are, I think this warband is great. It's one of my first warbands, and the thing that I love the most about them is they're very, very synergistic because of one particular ability that helps them to move each other around. They also have a fantastic reaction whereupon when one of them dies, any of their friends on the board can make a bonus move or attack. So for those 6, even though you've got fewer models than most other warbands, you're going to find that they are doing and activating and moving and fighting just as much as other warbands, because they're helping each other to kind of do that and keep their cycle going. They have a ton of really cool abilities, some really, really good damage dealers across the board, and a movement control piece on their duelist as well, which is often overlooked but really, really handy. Everyone in this warband can do damage. At toughness 5 with 20 wounds, all of them can take a punch. And if you are at the stage where you're using battle traits, their battle trait is incredible because it allows any of their fighters to use any number of abilities in an activation. Normally you can only use one ability in an activation. They can use an unlimited amount, so you can get some really wild combos going. I think they're fun, I think they're fluffy, I think they're forgiving, they're easy to paint, easy to build. I don't think you can go wrong with Questor Soulsworn, and that's why they're at 2. Now for my top spot, my final warband, there was only one that I feel I could go with. This is a warband that has seen competitive success even straight out of the box as a 1-box warband. At my last tournament that I went to, I actually had the dubious misfortune to run into them twice, and those were 2 very hard fought games. I'm of course talking about the Vulkyn Flameseekers. In terms of damage, these guys can put out an astounding amount of damage. Ignite Weapon is a double, which gives them a free crit on a miss, which is fantastic. Berserk Rampage is absolutely horrifying for a triple, and their quad aspect of the scale is damn nasty as well. Also their triple, Creed of the Flame, turns their little pet, their little Kindle Droth into an absolute monster that punches well above its own weight. They are reasonably tough, especially kind of their hero level characters. They aren't the fastest, being dwarves, they've only got a movement of 3, but they do have a double called Blazing Impetus, which more than makes up for it. So they've got everything kind of in play that they need to shore up their own deficiencies, which is really, really nice. Like I say, they are going to do a ton of damage. Even if they can't get to someone, they've got a ranged attack, which is fantastic. They synergize beautifully. They're super fun to paint, in my opinion. Just a bit of metal, a bit of flesh, and those great bright orange crests and flames. Really fun to paint, even if you're a beginner. I genuinely don't think you can go wrong. They only get scarier once you start to learn the game more and add in allies and all that kind of thing. Basically, they have no downsides, in my opinion. They have no downsides. They're super fun, easy to get hold of, hit like a truck, and they're not going to blink in the face of adversity. Just ask my Gorgers. I played them 2 weekends ago, and let's just say my Gorgers are going to remember the encounter. That was something else. So there you have it, guys. That's my list of the top 5 or 6, I guess, best warbands to start Warcry with in 2026. If you've made it this far, wow, why? This is my first video, so I appreciate maybe it's not been the best. But if you've sat through it, that means a huge deal. Looking forward to making more of these videos in future. If there's anything you'd like to see, if there's anything you'd like to disagree with as well, please drop a comment, and I'd love to hear your tips as well for beginners who are looking to enter the game for the first time. If you are, well done, because Warcry is an amazing game. It's hugely underrated, but it's guaranteed fun, at least in my opinion. Cool, that's been me. I'm Alex, this has been Long Run Hobbies, and I will see you next time.